So, Maharaj is in Mauritius, Jagannath is in Mauritius, Kumkum Didi, Dandar Pranams, good to be here with you. Maharaj is a bit busy. He's giving some initiations at the at this time. I don't know precisely this time or earlier or after. Anyway, we have here Jagannath Prabhu. He's our reporter. He's going to give a lot
Yes.
of news from Mauritius. Beautiful programs happening there. A lot of good things. A lot of walking and talking, and a lot of things to share. But first, as usual, let's do our mini invocation. Andeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitanscha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militanjana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavandanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai. So, Jagannath Prabhu, are you ready to say something? Some
Hare
news?
Krishna, Dandavat, everybody. Yes, I'm ready. So as Ilamoy Prabhu said, yeah, Maharaj is very busy right now. The initiations are just started, like just now. So he can be here. So I will do my best to represent him. And yeah, I give you some report from beautiful island of Mauritius. So yeah, Maharaj is busy now, and to be honest, it's been very busy since the very first day that we arrived. Since the moment we arrived at the airport, when we were welcomed by maybe like 20, 25 devotees with Mridanga, Kartel, and Harinam. So that was wonderful. It's very, very special place actually, and yeah, it's busy. But the Mauritian devotees are really, really special. We were all very touched by them, to be honest, to see how welcoming, warm, open, like, and basically they're working so hard on building this new temple. Uh, it's not completely finished, but it's in good shape. We have they have rooms to accommodate um, devotees, and they made it clear that every devotee from all over the world are very welcome to come and do some seva and join the party and be happy with them. So I'm just passing on the message as well at the same time. They made it very, very clear to everybody. Like, there's no doubt. So everybody is welcome. If you're interested, you can get in touch with, I don't know who, but we can find someone to put you in touch with them. And so this island is very special for the Mauritian devotees, but also Gurudev came here. Gurudev came. We thought he came like 2 or 3 times somehow before we arrived here, but we were told he actually came 5 times to Mauritius. So that's a significant number. And so basically, we start our program here with Mangalarti at 4:30 in the morning. And then in the daytime, we mostly visit places that Gurudev visited as well. So because he came 5 times, there's quite a few places. So we're running around the island. It's quite nice with the devotees. And he actually went to some beaches as well. So we get to go to the beach too, at least. We don't, we see some very nice places and also the beach. And then evening program is a house program and Harinam. So yeah, our days are pretty busy. And yeah, Maharaj actually asked me to speak about maybe Srila Prabhupada because we celebrated his disappearance day a couple of days ago, and he also came to Mauritius actually. I don't know how many times we were not told this information, but what we know is that when he came, he said that um, Mauritius has the capacity to become the first Krishna conscious country in the world. So I think that's a very big, significant statement coming from Srila Prabhupada. And Paramananda Prabhu yesterday, he was talking to the public, and he said actually coming from Srila Prabhupada, it means it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. When, we don't know, and it doesn't matter, but it will happen. Mauritius will become the first Krishna conscious country in the world. And yeah, so that's a bit of the report of what we are doing here. And I don't know, maybe if, I don't know, maybe Lilamoy, unless you had something else in mind or something, but I was thinking maybe someone can speak about Srila Prabhupada, since it was his disappearance day 2 days ago, maybe. Uh,
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. It's very beautiful to see the pictures that Priyanana Kamala is sharing with us in our Telegram group. It's very alive and very, you can feel the energy of the place. It's really something special that is going on there in Mauritius. And like always, Maharaj is saying he's not traveling, then it's something special there is going on because he's there. Then we really should really be aware of this. And yeah, we had some reports here from Govinda Farm. We had a really special program also in the Prabhupada Disappearance Day. Keshavananda Prabhu, he's here with us right now. He's busy doing something else that probably he's going to be here a bit late, but we had Keshavananda Prabhu. He's really amazing. I don't know how can I say about him. Super special devotee, and he gave us a lot of stories about Prabhupada and the importance of Prabhupada. Even this day of celebrating the disappearance day is a sad moment for some of the devotees, that it's not a good day to remember, but really to chant the Prabhupada glories. This is the real aspect of the celebration of the disappearance day. And we are having so beautiful programs here, even with a small group. We are so energetic, and keeping this Madhusudan Maharaj mood that always engaged in programs, always doing something, always singing, always reading. And this is the best aspect of our life, really. Then if we can keep this alive, this sincerity, this really always keep going, doesn't matter what's happening with us, always keep going, singing with the readings, our way is guaranteeing the future. And yeah, this is a bit news of here, Shri Govinda Farm. We have a really special guest, Kumkum Didi. You always prepared to say something, always with something in your pocket. Maybe we can share some stories about Prabhupada or something else. Please, please, please.
My Dandavat Pranam Prabhu to you and to all of the devotees here in Jagannath Prabhu. And yes, it is such an honor to be with Vaishnavas who have some conception of Srila Prabhupada. And this, of course, is by the grace of those who are following him. And even if they didn't have directly his association, like Srila Bhaktiranjan Madhusudan Maharaj, but understanding him so beautifully. I personally love to hear him speak about Srila Prabhupada because he understands that there was one aspect that we knew of Srila Prabhupada, and that was what you read, everyone can read about today, about, when he came on the boat and he was very poor in the beginning, and some people even present it as a rags to riches story. And then they think that that is Srila Prabhupada, but actually, when we got the great fortune to hear from Srila Guru Maharaj and from Srila Govinda Maharaj about Srila Prabhupada, then we started to understand a little bit about who he was and how great our fortune was. So for myself, it was a time when the United States was in great turmoil. And actually, when is that not the case for every country? This is Kali Yuga. But it was especially perfect because so many people, like myself, life was sort of at a standstill. I was 20, had just dropped out after 2 years of college, didn't know what I wanted to do, and something occurred in me that there has to be an explanation for the purpose of life. And then when I had that feeling, then the words of Srila Prabhupada came to me in the form of a BTG magazine that happened to be plopped down on a table. And when I just read in there, it was the prayer that he wrote on board the Jaladuta just before he disembarked. And absolute surrender, happy surrender to Krishna was so convincing. And this was brand new for me and to almost everybody in America at that time, to know that Krishna, who is Krishna, India, I didn't know what is India. I had heard India is a country and they don't even wear shoes. That was really my extent. And so why was this suddenly, like I was totally devastated with having no prospects at age 20 to now suddenly feeling like everything is going to come through this person who I did not know. But that was his potency. He had that way of reaching us. So when we heard later from Srila Guru Maharaj that actually his capacity is not of this world, he is an avatar. And when he was asked who, he is empowered by Lord Nityananda, then everything made complete sense. Because how did all of us become so inspired to turn our lives around? And it was all on the heart level. We could barely explain anything about what his teachings were. And when you did hear from people who were considered senior devotees, which meant they had known Prabhupada for maybe 6 months or even 3 or 4 years, then their explanation too would be very, very different. In fact, when I got that Back to Godhead magazine, the first article was written by one of his senior disciples, and it was scholastic and it was accurate, but I just kept turning the pages. It didn't touch me. And then when I got to the middle of the magazine, there was the article by Srila Prabhupada, and hearing his absolute surrender to Krishna. I do not know why you have sent me to this land of passion and ignorance. I don't know how I'll be able to deliver the transcendental message of Vasudeva. Transcendental, that was a good word to think about. I had a good feeling about that word, but I didn't know what it meant. I'd been taught in school about some poets, like, who were they? Any rate, they were the transcendentalists. But this was different. This meant that it was beyond the agony that my mind was going through and that all of the people that I tried to talk with about our dilemma would go through. We didn't know what was beyond what we could reason. And that was exactly what he gave. And so when he gave us he taught us about chanting Hare Krishna, but it wasn't just a mantra, it was his connection, that his belief was so, so strong that he turned all of us into wanting to follow. We came together, we did crazy things like move to another part of the country or anything, it didn't matter. It was like if you see a surfer who's on the crest of a wave and you ask them, well, are you going to finish your college degree? Do you think you'll get married? What are you doing with your life? They wouldn't be interested in thinking about that because their experience is so intense and so beautiful and perfect. And Srila Prabhupada was taking us along, whether we had qualification or not. He was putting that all in us. And so we were very happy to have these answers and gradually to come to understand. He always said the same things. You chant Hare Krishna, you chant a minimum of 16 rounds, and you go to the morning program, which was 4:30 or sometimes 4, and you have Mangal Artik, and there would be like one song, Samsaradava was the only song that we sang at Mangal Artik, plus the Mahamantra, because he didn't dump everything on us. It wasn't like being in boot camp and you have to learn so many things immediately. You just get the connection and you just stay connected. And he gave us a condensation of Mahaprabhu, of Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is called Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And so never assuming that he would be around long enough to do everything that he wanted to do, he gave us the condensation of Chaitanya Charitamrita as he was translating the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But just in case, he gave us the one volume. And that is perfect. If we read that, we get everything that we need. And then also he gave us the 10th canto of Krishna book. And that was also very essential because he was translating Srimad Bhagavatam. He was always working on that into late at night and very early in the morning, well before Mangalartik. He'd always be, wherever he was staying, his servants would always say, you could see the light on under his door at incredibly early hours. And he would be translating Srimad Bhagavatam into a microphone, and someone would create those into the books, which just came by his potency. So many books just came, and we still have those all over the world, right? And so more and more people were able to start different centers, and that's how it very, very quickly grew. And when I first came and got his grand association, it was 1971, and he departed in 1977, but only in 6 years, and I didn't have much direct association with him. But just the bit that I did have solidified me, that everything was completely, I had no doubt in him. In most religions, they speak a lot about take care of your faith, be sure to, you must have faith. And I knew so many people who were just, it was like a mental practice. Yes, I have to have faith, without really having faith. And it would almost be painful to hear them talk about it. And we hardly ever talked about, do you have faith in Prabhupada? There was no way you couldn't. So that's why I came to understand the explanation that he is acting purely on behalf of Lord Nityananda. He is that. Then that answers everything. That's why we did what we did. And somehow or other, inch by inch, came to understand about the great message of Mahaprabhu, and that he was an emissary from Mahaprabhu. And from that, we learned about Sri Sri Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan and everything else that he gave us. And we see that it's continually going on now, even today. I was listening to Sri Lekha Didi speaking from Salt Lake City on his appearance day in the morning, and she started talking about her experiences, hers with Sripad Nyasi Maharaj. They opened many temples and had a lot of that kind of responsibility and had more association with Prabhupada. And hearing that, she opened her mouth and did not stop for at least 20 minutes, telling the sweetest explanation of real insight into who he is, what he was doing. And now when we think back on those days, we hear Srila Guru Maharaj. In his words, we keep hearing that that vani, that message. In fact, I'll just tell one example of that, which is very sweet and personal for me, and that is that about the closeness between them and how their message is exactly the same, just like any two people here, if they started telling about what Madhusudan Maharaj is doing or anything, they would say different words, right? But anybody listening would have the same happiness to hear it and feel blessed and great advantage to hear it. And in the same way, whatever we heard from Srila Prabhupada and hankered more and more to hear about it, then it continued with hearing from Srila Guru Maharaj. And a very graphic example of that for me personally is that my husband, Rishabdev Prabhu, was, he had a difficult task to support the temple. And he was a temple commander, they say, managing all of the things in the temple. And the temple was getting larger and larger. And so so many people came to do service, but who's going to take care of them? And so instead of just taking care of things, they asked him to go out and distribute incense and travel in a van. And this would require him to be away from temple association for 6 weeks at a time. This was very difficult. And there was a blue Bhagavad Gita. TLC was not out yet, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It was sweet that it was also called TLC. But he would do the best he could. He took it as his duty. And so he was successful, and he would come back after a long, long time, and he had put all of the incense in the van and put a hard board, a piece of plywood that he slept on top of. And then he would drive and drive, and he said he pretty much lived off of cottage cheese and avocados. So it was not a very good life for him, but he was very happy to do because he saw his service. And then he started thinking, it's so hard to be away from the temple and away from the devotees. And I know many things that I need to be doing in the temple too, that I'm neglecting now. And so he decided that the next time Srila Prabhupada came to that temple, he would ask him if he could start a business and stay in the temple. He thought he could succeed. He could bring, if the object was to bring the amount of money, then the temple would run smoothly financially, and that would be fine. And so he went to have darshan, and the temple president was engaged in darshan. And so my husband sat there and waited for Prabhupada to be available to him. And the temple president said, Prabhupada, I'm not very inclined to be the temple president. I'm not good at the service. This was in a city. And he said, I'm more inclined to be in the country. That's my nature. I like the country, and especially the ocean. And so is it all right with you if I go to California or something? And this would have left the temple without a president. It was apparently not very pleasing for Prabhupada to hear. And Prabhupada's answer was, you take one service and you make that your life. And so, of course, he was talking about surrender. And when my husband heard Prabhupada telling the other man that, he realized that was my answer. I don't need to say anything to him. And he was so happy because, when we get that, we face a difficulty, and then we try to be sincere and approach Guru and Mahaprabhu, and then something so clear comes in our heart, and that's everything. And so then the next time it was time to go out, he was happy to do it. He knew that it was auspicious. He knew that it was service, and that service was above exactly which task you're doing. And so, as some sort of blessing from Krishna, he received the gift of a cassette. And it had just been made, and it was someone reading a very important discussion, and it was actually from Srila Guru Maharaj. So my husband received this in the form of a cassette, which was very good because with driving, he could always, we had those little tape players in the cars, and he could always listen to that as he drove and drove and drove. It was over about a 6-state area, so a lot of miles he would drive, and now he could listen to this, and he committed that to memory because he had nothing else to do, and it was so wonderful to hear. And in the beginning of it there was a disciple of Srila Prabhupada who he had sent to be with Srila Guru Maharaj in the very early years. His name was Achyutanandan Swami, and he had asked Guru Maharaj a question, and then he wrote it down later, and Guru Maharaj's answer. Now, this article was called Descent of the Holy Name, and it's available to read. And Srila Goswami Maharaj did point out one time that it sounds like he didn't have a recording, that Achyutananda Maharaj was repeating as best he could what Guru Maharaj had said. But that talk became the sum and substance of my husband's understanding of what is Krishna consciousness, because the question was, if the holy name is transcendental, how are we chanting it with our tongue and hearing it with these ears? And Guru Maharaj's answer is lengthy, and it's very beautiful, and it's all about how it's by the blessings of the holy names themselves that when we take to them, when we accept them from a sincere guru, that they will bless us. And so that's where it comes from. But what was interesting was that at that time, there was not a good understanding of who Srila Guru Maharaj was or any godbrother of Srila Prabhupada. So they hadn't given the name of this guru who was speaking and giving this wonderful answer that enlivened everyone who heard it. And it just started off. I was sitting on a rooftop one afternoon in Navadvip, and an old Swami asked me if I had any questions. And so that, what my husband memorized was just that it was an old Swami. But what he heard from this talk was, to him, the essence of what Srila Prabhupada was telling us, but just in a beautiful, very heart-touching manner. And he realized that this is my guru, but he didn't know his name. He couldn't do any service for him. He couldn't give a donation. He had no idea where to find him. But because he surrendered like that, it was very solid in his heart. And then it was about 15 years later that all the circumstances happened, and he got to go to Navadvip. And he got to go to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, of course, and he was with Guru Maharaj one afternoon, and it suddenly came back to him, an old Swami on a rooftop in Navadvip, and he knew then that this is that old Swami. This is my guru, whose name I didn't even know, but he completely saved me. He came to me at that time when my surrender was impossible, but I did it because of faith in Prabhupada. And so then he said, and Srila Guru Maharaj would have us sit rather close to him because, his eyesight was very failing. And so my husband said that he suddenly realized that, and he asked Guru Maharaj about that talk. And Srila Guru Maharaj said, yes. He asked this question, And this is how I answered him. And he said almost verbatim exactly. And this was now at least 15 years after he had originally answered it. But my husband said that tears shot out of his eyes and practically hit Guru Maharaj's dhoti. And so it wasn't just the talk, but it was the very clear understanding that Guru is one, as Srila Prabhupada said. Guru is one, and he appears in an infinity of forms to teach you, me, and all others. And so this is a very important lesson for us now. We want to be close to Srila Prabhupada. We hear about everything that he did before he passed away, and how many faithful disciples that he has that are still making incredible things going on, and his glories, and when we hear all of these things, but to know that we are being invited to be part of that. So the Sampradaya of Sri Rupa is very happy and alive, and we're being invited to continue with that by hearing from those who are perhaps just a little further along than we are. So this is wonderful. Happy time.
Hare Krishna, Dandavats to devotee in Mauritius,
Yeah.
Udaran
This
Prabhu
is
also.
Dhanyavad Krishna Mohan Prabhu.
Dandavad
Krishna
all
Mohan.
devotees. Dandavad.
Thank you, Kumkum. Really beautiful to have your association and all the stories. This is really amazing. We can feel this presence by your stories, and the other devotees always repeating these stories. It feels like you are there with them.
That is his intent. That is his grace. I have a question for Jagannath Prabhu. I remember when Madhusudan Maharaj first arrived there, and he said that he had originally said he's not traveling so much, but he was stolen by their affection. He couldn't say no. And that was at the beginning, but we have noticed just the little bit that we've seen that he is incredibly busy. Every single second seems very happy. So we'd like to know if his happiness is he planning to travel there regularly, or does he have any idea?
No, well, I can definitely confirm that he's very happy to be surrounded by all these, I mean, really like wonderful devotees, like Krishna Mohan here is one of them, like, really fully dedicated, like they give everything to Krishna and go really. And so we obviously Madhusudan Maharaj, surrounded by such devotees, is very happy, and he's obviously also very involved and implicated, and he's very happy to see all the places that Gurudev went to. Also, you can really see like his smile, like his speech, like he's really, really happy. So we are also very happy to see him like that. But to be honest, he didn't mention anything. He didn't mention anything as far as I remember. I didn't hear that he would go back there regularly or anything like that. But I'm sure he's at least definitely interested, that he said, to keep some contact and make some connections and try to to bring actually as many devotees as possible to come here to do seva and to get inspiration from the Mauritian devotees. That I know, but himself coming back here on a regular basis or something like that, he didn't mention anything about that. But who knows?
Okay. Jai Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. And yeah, this is the way to be always surrounded by devotees with the same mentality, and then we can always keep going. So, maybe, sorry to put in a spot, Sivarupa Didi. Maybe you have some contribution for us. I know you always have something in your pocket some beautiful quotation, or I don't know about the expectations to to receive Madhusudan Maharaj in South Africa. I don't know if anyone knows that the next destination is South Africa for Madhusudan Maharaj. He's going to be there in a few days, maybe. I don't know exactly the day, but maybe you can share something with us.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much, Leelamoy Prabhu. I am just so amazed to always be in the association of all of you. And just, I think, seeing how our dear Kumkum Diri is telling us the flavor of Krishna consciousness, or the essence of it. Cannot be, it's like you can't even capture it in your hands, even though, or in your heart, to think this is it, because it just keeps growing and growing. And every time you see the devotees and see the devotion all over the world, it's just like, I don't know, it's like inflated and inflated. Your heart can't even comprehend or understand just the beauty of this Krishna consciousness, and it's experienced through the hearts of each and every devotee. So it's so beautiful. But I have a little question to Kumkum Didi before I, go on about what we're doing in South Africa and our preparations for Maharaj. Is this the book that you were talking about?
That's not the same. It's the Bhagavad Gita as it is, but it's not the same publication that we had first. That one was a grayish blue, and it had almost a silhouette of, I think it was Shiva Nataraj dancing on the front. I'm not even sure who published it, but that was what we had in the beginning.
When you said blue, I was like, oh, I saw my mom left her books here, and this, I've never also seen like a hardcover Bhagavad Gita like this, and it looked quite, like it could have come from way back when.
Yes.
So, thank you, Didi, and for your shares. And I've also been trying to follow online everything that's happening in Mauritius, and it just looks so ecstatic. And as far as, I think, Maharaj coming to South Africa, the devotees are just so excited. I think we can't even contain ourselves, but at the same time, I can talk for myself, nervous. And I think there's a rainbow of emotions going on, because we were also a handful of devotees, but they are giving everything. And I think to see and to experience the vibrant like environment and emotions and devotions of the devotees in Mauritius, it's just so amazing, and it's something so inspirational. And here, I think I can maybe share a little that Premasindhu Prabhu had said to me when I was, we were all like preparing, and I was asking him about Srila Gurudev's visit to South Africa. And he was saying, and I think Mathura Vasini Didi also said, at that time, their kids were very little, and she had left them with a neighbor and said they're going to Durban and that this is about, I can't say in kilometers, I'm not good with that, but I could say maybe between a 6 to 8 hour drive from where we stay, where the temple is actually in Indonesia. So Yes, and they went because they heard that Srila Govinda Maharaj is giving a lecture and he's staying in Durban. And the minute she saw Srila Govinda Maharaj, her heart was just captivated and she surrendered. And, you know, I'm not sure if she received an initiation then and there, but she was telling me that Uramanyu Prabhu was there at the time. And when they were asked where are they from, um, they said, no, they're from Johannesburg. And he said, oh, Srila Govinda Maharaj would love to come and he'll even extend his stay to come to Johannesburg. And they came back. They didn't, I think they didn't even have their own house. They didn't even have anywhere that they were staying really, maybe a flat. And they just made it happen. It was incredible. I think they put in a, advertisement into the newspaper, and then one of her friends said, oh, are you advertising, I think for a house to rent? And she said, no, we're both this house, and it's, I think, I don't know if it was furnished at the time, but you are more than welcome to stay there. And that's how the devotees and Srila Govinda Maharaj came and they hired this house, or the friend gave them the house, and they didn't hire it, but I think back in the day you could lay by, put a deposit, and then you got some furniture and things like that. And then even afterwards they gave it back. It was, and they'd go to, a devotee went to the market and say got a lot of donations on a lot of vegetables and fruits. And so they just went, I think the capacity to just surrender yourself to such a degree. I mean, I would surrender everything, your kids, you don't even have anything, but you're making it happen. And just the sweet stories that, or pastimes that the devotees, and the caliber of devotion and surrender. That we hear from all our senior devotees. And, at the time, like Kumkum Didi was even telling us, and then Prema Sindhu Prabhu. So Mathura Vasini and Prema Sindhu Prabhu are actually like our senior devotees. And they had invited, or had, the grace of having Srila Govinda Maharaj here. And Prema Sindhu Prabhu was saying they were driving to another program. So in Benoni, it's also here in Gauteng, Johannesburg. And Srila Govinda Maharaj had said, stop the car here. And they stopped, and there was just like, well, there was nothing really there. So we'll say felt in South Africa, meaning like just grasslands. And they took a walk, and where Srila Gurudev put his cane down and he drew in the sand, this is where the temple will be. And today, this is where the temple is. And that's where they also have the Nantashesh. So it's incredible, the vision and where our gurus are living in that spiritual plane, and how they are bringing that into reality. And years and years and years later, I mean, we are experiencing that. So very special pastimes, and we are super excited. As I think it hasn't really hit me yet, and I'm the type of person that just contains it all and has this exterior, everything is gonna go fine, but inside I'm like a whirlwind of emotions. I'm sure Leela Moy, probably you also know, when everyone invited Maharaj to Brazil, like my stresses is like, am I going to serve properly? I don't want to do this wrong and this right. And, all of these emotions. And, but I just know once everything settles and Maharaj and the devotees are here, it's going to just be like feeling transcendental. And so as I drive to work, with the anticipation of receiving Maharaj and the devotees, I'm thinking, South Africa, you're so blessed. Maharaj is going to be here. He's going to put his feet on this land. He's going to look at this, give darshan to that. It just feels, yeah, so wonderful. And I think also emotional to feel that, yeah, I mean, I get to experience this. And, you know, where was I so many years before this? Like zero, nowhere, not even a comprehension of this possibility of having such a beautiful family, an international family of sweet, sweet souls and devotees and Vaishnavas. So, yes, I mean, that's what I can share, and love to be in everyone's association. And yeah, so it's seva, seva, seva all the way. Yeah.
Jai,
Jai
Jai,
Gurudev.
Jai. Thank you, Sivarupa Didi. It's just really amazing report. Yeah. Yeah, we can feel this excitement. This is really really amazing moment that I know that you're really happy, and the South Africa devotees are really really happy also. This is really incredible. I was thinking maybe Krishna Mohan Prabhu. That's your name, Prabhu? Maybe I
Yes.
don't know. I don't want to put you in the spot or anything. Maybe we can listen from you about your perspective, you know? This is I know that we are having this vision, this outside vision of Madhusudan Maharaj coming to Mauritius and everything, but you are there. Maybe you can give your perspective, your some words.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to all devotees. Maybe it's the second time I'm on the Zoom meeting with all the great grand family of Srila Param Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, and also Srila Madhusudan Maharaj. I ask for forgiveness first because maybe my English is not that good, but I will try to express my feeling with all my dear family. I am very happy to be part of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math family, and the arrival of Srila Madhusudan Maharaj was indeed very beneficial for all the Mauritian community, not only the devotees, but all the non-devotees, all the Mauritian people associating with Madhusudan Maharaj. They are very lucky. Why? Because we got the same feeling when Srila Gurudev came to Mauritius, the last time he came to Mauritius in 2008. That same feeling welcoming Srila Madhusudan Maharaj at the airport, the Gyalan, the Harinam Sankirtan, as a transport, all the places. This is a great feeling to see our Guru Varga, our representative coming to Mauritius, is spreading the conception of Krishna consciousness, the instructions, the guidelines, all established by as it is by Param Gurudev, Param Guru Maharaj, and Gurudev. Indeed, we have been trying our best, maybe 2 months before, to prepare for the arrival of these great Vaishnavas, along with all the devotees coming with them. And they have been giving us the inspiration to be in the service of Param Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. This has, how can I say that, make us more strong, motivated, because Gurudev, Param Guru Maharaj, and Madhusudan Maharaj, they gave us a real purpose of this human body, so human life. And just like they said in the book, the human body, the body means B-O-D-Y, B means birth, O means old age, D means diseases, and Y means Yamraj. Okay, the birth this is a fourth truth: birth, we all have taken birth here, old age. We will we will become old one day. This is Kali Yuga. So we all will have some disease. We can't say that we are in Hare Krishna consciousness. We are devotees, so we won't get knee pain. We won't get diseases. And the final is Yamraj said, death. We all have taken birth, so we will die one day, but we will die in the association of devotees. That's we are very lucky, and I am very happy to be part of the great grand family, because I thought that we are only 50 people here in Mauritius, so we are continuing our seva, we are getting some inspiration, but the arrival of this great Param Vaishnava have given us, has nurtured our, as Gurudev said, our Bhakti Lata Bij, the creeper of devotion for us. So they are here to water our Bhakti Lata Bij, so that we can become strong in our seva. And with all your blessings, so we can continue, at least by the mercy of Guru Krishna and all of the Vaishnavas, so we can at least do some offering, something to Srila Madhusudan Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to all of you. I try to express my feeling here for the first time. I'm meeting all of you. Maybe I know Lilamoi Prabhu a bit, and Kumkum Didi also. So please bless us, we Mauritian devotees. Your mercy be always with us till the end of our life on this material world. And surely we will meet in the spiritual world. Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Really beautiful, Prabhu. This is really alive comments of a really good devotee that we know that you are trying, always serving our gurus and everything. So inspirational to listen to you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And Jagannath Prabhu, Dharan Prabhu, they're also always great servitors, and really fortunate to be in the presence of you all. This is really amazing. We have here our dear Brahmachari, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Jai Gauranga Prabhu Brahmachari. He was our reader today in our morning program. There's a beautiful text. We are reading Revealed Truth by Srila Govinda Maharaj, and I think he wants to read some part of the Revealed Truth that really touch his heart. Then we can finish with a really auspicious. Yes, Jai Gauranga Prabhu.
My first mandandavats to the devotees. My obeisances. So this morning we were reading from Revealed Truth. Chapter is called the Transcendental Vibration Form of the Lord. And so this section, Srila Gurudev is talking about the descent of the holy name into the heart, and then I'll read it. Devoting. In the scriptures it says that we need to chant the holy name constantly to remove our offenses against the holy name. I have also heard that we should chant only a small number of times with full concentration. Can you explain something about the importance of quality and quantity in chanting? Srila Govinda Maharaj responds, it is not hard to understand the difference between quality and quantity in chanting the holy name. We need to satisfy Krishna and his non-different form of the holy name. Chanting in a way that is satisfying to the holy name is quality chanting. That will draw down the revelation of the pure holy name in our heart. When the Lord's name is pleased with us, he will appear in his transcendental vibration form on our tongue. We cannot see Krishna's form, and we cannot hear Krishna's holy name. What comes from our tongue when we chant is not transcendental, because our tongue is not transcendental. But our tongue can attain a transcendental form when the Lord's divine name appears there. Quality chanting means making our tongue transcendental by attracting the divine name, the Lord's transcendental vibration form, to appear there. The Lord made the special sanction in the age of Kali. I shall manifest in my transcendental vibration form in the heart of a surrendered soul who has purified consciousness. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, Hridaya hoiti boli jivara agriti choli sabdarupi nachi anukshan. Harinam himself will forcibly move from within the clean heart of a devotee to the tip of his tongue and dance there in the form of sound vibration. The holy name needs a proper place to reveal himself without the atmosphere of a clean heart, a surrendered mood of prayer and devotion. The divine vibration of the holy name will not be attracted to manifest himself. But someday, like lightning, the name may appear in our heart and dance on our tongue. That will happen one day if we continue our meditation on the holy name. But it is not our meditation actually, it is our chanting service. Through our service mood, the holy name will appear in our heart. Jai Shri Bhakti Jai.
And to do our duty here, we should mention how we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Trinada Pisonichana Taroriva Sahishana Amanyana Manadana Kirtanya Sadhari. Then always humble, always tolerant, and giving honor to all without expecting anything in return. Only by this process we can chant the holy names of the Lord. Then chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Thank you very much, dear devotees. This is our BBBC today. Probably Madhusudana Maharaj will be here with us in the next one or not, but we're always here. Jai to our masters, Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki, Jai Srila Bhakti Rakakshada Dev Goswami Maharaj ki, Jai Shri Rupanuga Gurvaga ki, Jai Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda ki, Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Jai our wonderful Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudana Maharaj ki, Jai Harinama Sankirtana ki, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
And Jai Lila Moy so nicely.
Jai to all of you. See you next time. Chant Hare Krishna. Be happy. Haribo.